If it is or if it ain't, it's gonna come out.
Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is, what is the day? April the 21st, 2022. And today the topic is the world. Shout out to the person who is here watching live, man. To God be the glory for you. It is early, so I appreciate you taking out your time. But anywho, the world. Well, updates on yesterday. Not too much. Not too much report. I worked with my acting student. Other than that, normal stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this topic. So basically, the inspiration this morning. I did prayer meditation. I was a little bit distracted. Be honest about that. But afterwards, what did I start thinking about? I started thinking about the song. Who sings? Ty Tribbett, I think. Ty Tribbett sings a song. I think they remade a song, but anyway, it's called "Stayed on You" or "My Mind Stayed on You" or something along those lines. And so that I was thinking about that song, and then that kind of made me think about like keeping my mind stayed on God, everything like that. And then eventually, as I started looking up verses around that, I noticed the phrase "the world" being brought up multiple times, and so then I started looking verses centered around the world, and here we are. So when I look up the definition of world, it says the earth together with all of its countries, peoples, and natural features. And then the second definition says a region or group of countries. I was inspired to go deeper and look up the biblical definition of world. And I came across BibleStudyTools.com. And in that or on that site, if you look up world, it pretty much starts off with this phrase here. It says the biblical concept of the world falls into 5 categories: the physical world, human world, moral world, temporal world, and the coming world. So it has a lot more as well to say about the world in that on that website and whatnot. So if that's something you need to go deeper about, by all means, check it out. But here are the verses I felt led to share this morning. Now, the first bit is a little bit lengthy, but I was like, well, it's resonating, so I'll go ahead and just write it all down. So 1 John 2:15 through 17 says, do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is the world, for all that is in the world, the desires of the flesh and the desires of the eyes and pride in possessions is not from the Father, but is from the world, and the world is passing away along with its desires, but whoever does the will of God abides forever. Whew, all right, so I know that's lengthy. But depending on where you are in this category or whatever, yeah, that's some good juice. I guess if you're in a place where, your mind is stayed on God, right? You're not necessarily focused on the things of this world and whatnot, then, sounds like you're in a good place, right? I want to say what stood out to me the most in this verse is the section that says, the part that says, and the world is passing away along with its desires, but whoever does the will of God abides forever. So, yeah, I mean, okay, all right. So I'm gonna be honest, you know what I mean, testimony time, you know what I mean. It's easy again to look at someone else's life and look at all these people that are seemingly successful and think like, man, I want that, man, I want a piece of that. You know, even like yesterday, right? We were talking about the crumbs that people desire, you know what I'm saying? Like some people are desiring other people's crumbs, right? Things like that. It's easy to do that. I mean, I do it, you know what I mean? Or I have done it. You know, I try not to do it too much, but I mean, it's still easy to do it. I mean, you know, there's this um, influencer, I guess you would say, that I would say over the last week or so, I found myself following, right? Found myself like paying attention to. Um, Now, business wise, you know, hey, I commend the girl. You know what I'm saying? She's out here, you know, creating business endeavors. You know, she has this huge following. Seems like she must be making a lot of money. You know what I mean? Doing what she's doing. Um, you know, so much so I believe like I saw a video of her giving her mom a car. See, she has this lavish home, all these things. Um, and now can create this business that is seemingly successful from the first day, all this different stuff, right? And that's great, you know what I'm saying? That's great for her, you know what I mean? It is inspiring, you know, it's inspiring in some ways. Because again, I can't allow myself to look at it with envy. You know, I have to kind of change my mindset in regards to how I look at it, right? And so, um, you know, because it's easy to envy, right? It's easy to envy this person that has all this influence and the followers and the support and all those different things that, you know, maybe I'm desiring, right? Um, Maybe I know that at the end of the day, it would be beneficial, right, for me to have a platform with all the support and followers and all that type of stuff. Because then this message, right, would get out more and everything like that. Honestly, that's what the biggest thing for me. Like, yeah, I do. Um, I am inspired business wise by the young lady. You know what I'm saying as well, because it's great to see that, you know, someone, I guess you would say like me, was able, younger than me, she's younger than me and everything, from what I'm understanding, you know, was able to do so much, right? And everything like that. So that's inspiring. Um, However, at the end of the day, even with all the possessions and all the things, you know, what's going to last at the end of the day? You know what I mean? And according to this, right, it says here that whoever does the will of God abides forever. Now, I'm not saying she's not doing the will of God. You know what I'm saying? You know, that could be the will of God for her in her life. You know what I'm saying? I believe that there's some things that I've seen. Well, I don't know if it's directly from her, but at least from her surroundings or whatnot that, you know, has pointed to Christ. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, perhaps in that aspect, the message is still getting out to some extent, you know, and everything like that. Um, but I guess, I mean, it gives me hope. It gives me encouragement to know that at the end of the day, even if I don't see the earthly um, successes, right? Or well, like I said, I mean, you know, I've talked about this before, but here it is again, just in case you listening to me for the first time. Basically, you know, I learned a while back that, you know, the things that we do for God is going to be the most important things. Um, at the end of the day, like that's the only thing that's going to last. That's the only thing that's going to even matter. Everything else is just like, you know, according to the Bible, just putting it like that. And so, with that in mind, you know, I keep pushing, you know, I keep, you know, doing what I feel like God is leading me to do. Um, and just go from there. Because whatever seeds that are going to be planted, whatever fruit that's going to flourish, whether I see it or not, you know what I mean? That's what's going to matter at the end of the day. So, um, yeah, yeah. So that's that, man. I only got one more verse to share. because the rest of it is in the go deeper section for you all to peruse and let marinate on your heart, souls, and minds for yourself, right? But the other verse I felt led to share this morning is James 4:4. It says, "You adulterous people, do you not know that friendship with the world is enmity with God? Therefore, whoever wishes to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of God." All right. Well, that might be Pope. That might be Pope today. I mean, if you care, right, then that might be Pope today. Because, I mean, I don't want to make myself an enemy of God. Seems like it's not more beneficial, but kind of more beneficial to be an enemy of the world, right? Because at least at the end of the day, that's temporary. Sorry, got hiccups and everything. But yeah, at least that's temporary at the end of the day. But making yourself an enemy of God, like that's everlasting. We talked about last week that we're all going to be resurrected, but where are you going to be resurrected? Right? Are you going to be resurrected in comfort and peace and joy and worship of God and all these different things? Is that where you're going to be resurrected, or are you going to be resurrected in the fiery pit? I don't know. I know where I don't want to be, right? And so yeah, that's just something to think about there. I mean, hey, that's the juice. That's juice this morning. Plenty of verses in the Go Deeper section that, talk about the world and talk about, I guess, what our relationship with it should be. But again, y'all can go deeper on that on your own. The Bible verse of today is John 13. John 13:14. It says, "If I then, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet, ye also ought to. Ye also ought to wash one another's feet." So there you go, y'all. That's the juice this morning. I hope that you all enjoyed it. It's today Thursday already. Oh my goodness. So today is Thursday, so that means that tomorrow's Friday. We got a new episode of God, Sex, and Love, the talk show, going live at 7 p.m. tomorrow. It's going to be a chat with Danielle Shelton. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, keep me and my family in prayer, y'all. Hopefully we getting some things resolved today, the Lord's will. And yep, that's it, y'all. That is it for me. But thank you all so much for listening and watching. And I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
Hello, charmers. Visit ttcboutique.com for the latest in fashion and accessories. Twice the Charm, the source of women clothing.